What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Z's Garage. We're working on the 1980 Honda CB750 and we're turning this into a front fender. It's like Tim the Toolman or his neighbor, Wilson. Is it Wilson? Where you only ever see his eyes. But then there was that one episode where you saw him above the fence. Anyways, we're gonna be doing a motorcycle fender, and we're gonna be taking this paper right here, and we're gonna be creating a nice front fender, a mud guard, whatever you wanna call it. And we're gonna be taking this 16 gauge sheet metal, steel, not aluminum. You could totally do an aluminum. It's actually a lot easier to hammer in that aluminum compared to the steel, but in case I do want to weld, I don't have the capability of welding aluminum. I do have the capability of TIG or MIG welding steel because I have that stuff here, but with aluminum, I don't. So we're gonna be taking this metal and we're gonna be shaping it. Don't destroy my brake lines or scratch my front forks, and we're gonna be making a front fender. We're gonna need a couple different things for this project. One, we just need some paper. We just need to mock it up. We should figure out how we're going to, or what size we're gonna do the fender, and you know, kind of get a rough idea of what size we wanna go with. We also, we're gonna need, this is a leather sandbag. And we're gonna beat our metal against that sandbag with this. Lastly, we need this. No, not a box. It's an English wheel inside this box. I haven't opened it yet, but it's a mini English wheel from Eastwood. Used some Christmas money to buy this English wheel, and I'm pretty excited to use it. That's pretty much all you need to get into metal shaping, at least for a front wheel fender. I haven't done any fairings or anything like that in the past, but it's fairly simple tools. I mean, it costs a couple $100 to get into it. But you know, like me, I had some Christmas money and I used it to buy an English wheel and the leather bag, and we're gonna be shaping this metal. So let's get into it. I think the width is okay on this, but I think it needs to be longer. Maybe like out here. So another couple inches, but overall, I don't think it's bad. All right, so we cut out our sheet metal, and I overall like it. It is very thick, but it's definitely like malleable, or you know, flexible a little bit. So it'll be some work to get it the proper shape. But one trick I did learn when I was cutting out these edges around here using my angle grinder, I actually ground down here a little bit with some sandpaper, and it allowed me to see this edge a lot better, and it gave me, you know, better just visual of the roundness, and there was like more jagged edges than I even saw with my eye until I actually ground it down. So let's put it on the motorcycle and see how it looks. So I think this is like the perfect length. I really like the way it's turning out. I put a little curve into it just to have it sit on the motorcycle tire. Probably have it like right about there, give or take. So overall, it's looking pretty good. The shape is nice, so let's hit some metal now. Looks pretty good. I'm actually extremely happy with the curvature, going from this way and this way. It looks really good. Pretty even, just had to do a couple bends by hand to make sure that it was nice and straight. I just put it on a table and I just tried wobbling it, and then I just kept bending it until I got it proper. So I think it's kind of fits the wheel perfect here. I think it makes the bike look a lot more complete with it on there. And I like the distance from the forks to the front and the distance from the back of the forks to the rear. Probably do something a lot like that. Looks really good, so let's get that English wheel out. All right, guys, this looks really good. I'm really stoked and amped about this. It looks just awesome. I can see my reflection in it, so I look good. Anyways, the leather bag and that mallet really did like a lot of work in creating this shape. And there's a little technique to it. You definitely don't want to hit right in the middle. I took the fine point of that hammer and I would hit right along this edge right here and right along the edge. So not in the middle, not on the edge, but kind of in between. And that would create a nice curve. And then I would get the fat part of the hammer and I would hit, let me flip this over actually, because then it makes sense. I would actually hit this part, so then it'd flatten it out a little bit. And then if it was still really curved this way, then I would get the big part of the hammer and I would hit right kind of towards the middle and I would try to flatten it out. I was constantly going to my motorcycle tire, putting it on my motorcycle tire, seeing what it looks like, making sure this curve and that curve was looking really good and appropriate for what I wanted in my motorcycle. I also really like the length of it. I'm gonna probably do like a little offset so it's a little more forward and not perfectly even from the front and the back or in between the forks. Also the English wheel, it just was awesome. I started out with the number 2. The number 2, as you could see right here, maybe a little bit, has a little play. And that allowed me to create a nice, good, smooth curve. And that's what we wanted. Once I got like a really good curve and it started smoothing out a little bit, I went to the number 1 English wheel, which is what I have right here. And I'm using the Eastwood Elite English wheel. That number 1 was really nice, good contact with the metal. and it would go back and forth, and it would really just work out all those kinks, all those dents, any imperfections, and really just smooth it out.
All right, guys, that's it for this one. We did a lot of work in this video. I'm overall, like I said, I'm really happy with this fender and the way it's turning out, and I'm looking forward to continue to work on it. Still haven't decided on whether I'm going to or how I'm gonna attach it. If I'm gonna do like steel tubes that attach to the fender, kind of come out, then come down and attach to the forks, or I'm gonna create some more sheet metal and make it seamless, attached to the fender, grind it out, and make it really smooth, which I'm kind of leaning towards because I think it's gonna look a lot better. I also don't see a ton of motorcycles that have sheet metal fenders like that. I mean, you see a lot of plastic fenders like that, but not a lot of sheet metal. So I'm kind of leaning towards that. I think it'd be challenging. It gives me an excuse to TIG weld, which I'm terrible at, but I still have to practice. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe and hit that like. I greatly appreciate you all. I love making these videos, I love working on motorcycles, and I'm having a lot of fun with this one. So thank you guys, and I will catch you guys in the next one. All right, peace. Peace, peace, peace.